When it comes to AI images, vision boards, often people ask me, well, how does it actually get me to do anything? And foremost, it is not magic. If I want to run a race, I still have to get my butt out of the chair and go for a run. It's not doing it for me. So that's the first thing. I always have to clarify that. It's not a magic thing. But what it does is, because you are sitting here looking at it, and I'll give you, I've got multiple examples from myself as well as other clients. I had a client who really wanted to write a book. She's been talking about writing a book, and that hits me right here because this is like my life. Every time I talk about writing a book, my husband's like, yeah, okay. So I know what this is going. But what she did is she was afraid. She was afraid that people wouldn't care what she had to say. She was afraid. She didn't think that anything was that interesting. And what if she couldn't finish it? She had a lot of fear, a lot of beliefs that we have in there. And I created her an image on her AI vision board with her holding her book, standing in front of a crowd, doing her very first book launch. And every time she'd sit down at the table, instead of procrastinating, which is what our mind usually does when we have fear, instead of thinking, oh, I have to do all these other things, when it was time to write, she would pick up her vision board. She'd look at the image of her holding her book at her book launch, and she would start writing. It's not perfect. Maybe it was brain dump like it would do, but I'm happy to tell you 2 months later, she's written 4 chapters of her book. So again, not magic, not, if I'm working with clients that are coaches, they're doing this step by step, but this client actually is one of mine. And I work with her and say, all I want you to do is, every time it's time to sit down and do your writing time, because that was what she had, I want you to pull up that image. Maybe you write nothing. Maybe you write 2 words. Maybe you write 50 words. I don't even care. Just pull up that image. And inevitably, every single time she's pulled up that image, she's written 2 to 3 pages, because that future self of her is saying, look, your book is already published. It's done. People love it. You're on a book tour. Now pick up the bloody pen and start writing. And so that's how we really see the moving forward, right? Moving the needle forward. My own experience with getting off my chair and going for a run when I really didn't want to, or, I'd put off registering for a race for forever, because again, that brain of ours is a complicated mess. And my vision board has me racing. So I would stare and I'd look at it and I'd be like, oh, I'd sit there and look at it. And then finally my husband actually came in and he's like, that image just keeps looking at you and you're not doing anything about it. And I was just like, oh, damn. So now, of course, the image is saying, okay, future self me has finished this race. So, current you needs to sign up for said race. And so it was like, okay, I'll do it. So again, by seeing yourself already in that future, right? Whether it's 2 years, 5 years, 80-year-old self, you are then giving yourself an opportunity to say, okay, present me needs to do this, this, and this, so future me can have it done. And so that's really how we break it down to move ourselves forward or move that needle forward. And it's, it's still baby steps. It's still small habit changes. It's not completely changing, everything that we do, but from a coaching perspective, it's look at the image, think about your future self. What can you do right now that's going to benefit said future self, and do that? And it could be one thing, it could be 2 things. I mean, ideally it's not 50 things because we don't do those things very well, but do it and we move the needle forward every single time.